1.2 The fun they had. After studying the text 1.2 The fun they had, we will learn meaning of the words, classification of ancient, modern, futuristic, difference between human teacher and mechanical teacher, punctuation marks, online shopping steps. 1.2 Fun they had. Classify. Listen carefully and write each word in the appropriate columns of ancient, modern, and futuristic. Robots, bicycles, notebook, horse-drawn carriage, telephone, vacuum cleaner, wheels, ball pens, fans, books, floppy disks, geography, electric lamp, television, tar roads, audio cassettes, spaceships, bullock cart, axe, umbrellas, brushes, mobile phone, spaceships, mortar and pestle, grammar, earth movers, computers, windmills, tonga, water tap, aeroplane, flying cars, candles, camera, headphone, earthen stove. Did I miss something? Earthen stove. Check answers. Classification. Ancient, horse-drawn carriage, wheels, geography, umbrellas, grammar, windmills, ships, tonga, mortar and pestle, modern, bicycles, notebook, telephone, mobile phone, vacuum cleaner, ball pens, fans, books, floppy disks, futuristic, robots, bullet trains, flying cars, spaceships. Classification. Ancient, bullock cart, axe, brushes, earthen stove, brushes, candles, modern, television, tar roads, audio cassettes, earth movers, aeroplane, headphone, camera, water tap, computers. Futuristic. Punctuation mark. A punctuation mark is a mark or a sign used in writing to divide texts into phrases and sentences. Some common punctuation marks are full stop, period, comma, question mark, exclamation mark, colon, semicolon, single quotation marks, double quotation marks, parentheses, brackets and braces, hyphen, n dash, ellipsis, apostrophe, slash. Full stop, period. The full stop or period looks like a small dot. The period is the most common form of punctuation used to end a sentence in the English language. Periods are also used for abbreviations and website addresses. When to use full stop? We use a full stop at the end of sentences that are statements. Examples: I like to eat rice. My father is a businessman. India is my country. We use a full stop at the end of sentences that are commands. Examples: pick up the call, eat fruits, study hard. We use a full stop at the end of sentences that are indirect questions. An indirect question is a question that is said as a statement. It uses a period instead of a question mark. Examples: Raju asked me why I didn't go to school yesterday. I wondered why Bob wasn't there. Seema asked about that field visit. We use full stops in abbreviations. An abbreviation is a shortened version of a word or words. Examples: United States of America is abbreviated as USA. Mr. is the abbreviation for Mr. PhD is the abbreviation for Doctor of Philosophy. We use full stops in website addresses. Examples: www.dictionary.com, www.kidsites.com, www.elearningforkids.org. Comma. The following rules will help you begin to use commas correctly when writing in English. First, when listing items in a sentence, use comma punctuation to separate words or phrases of 3 or more. Examples: On our farm we have 3 cats, 2 goats, 1 cow, and a dog. Flour, sugar, butter, and milk are what you need to buy. My best friends are Raj, Sunil, Pinky, and Bunty. Second, use a comma to separate 2 adjectives if you can reverse the order of the adjectives or insert and between the adjectives. Examples: The cat is small and white. He is a little short man. When writing a location in a sentence, we use commas to separate the city from the state. Use a comma after the state if you spell out the name of the state. Examples: I'm traveling to Surat, Gujarat to visit my sister. She was born in Kolhapur, Maharashtra in 1980. Use commas when you write a sentence that directly addresses someone. For example, Yes, teacher, I will finish my work. Will you, Bill, show me how to do the mathematics problem? Do you like horses, Aditya? I was wondering, Mr. Vikas, if you would like to come to my house next week. No, Mother, I did not pick up all my toys. We also use commas around degrees or titles with names. Examples: Arjun Patil, MD, is Doctor of Medicine. Sarika Chavan, PhD, Doctor of Philosophy. Question mark. Use a question mark at the end of a sentence that asks a question. Use a question mark only after a direct question. Examples: Where is your school? What is your father? Exclamation mark. What is exclamation mark? The exclamation mark is a simple vertical line above a period. In English, it is only used at the end of a sentence. It looks like this. When is the exclamation mark used? An exclamation mark is used to give emphasis to a statement. This means the writer wants the reader to understand there is strong feeling or urgency to the statement. For example, a warning. In a story, the main character tells his daughter, "Watch out." The exclamation mark tells us that the man is scared and is calling out to his daughter. Second, a direct order. If you read a sign on a door that says, "Do not enter," the exclamation mark helps catch your attention. The exclamation mark tells you that it might be dangerous to go through that door. Expressing strong feelings. When we speak, we often use our voices and body movements, also known as body language, to show feelings. In writing, other ways must be used. One way is to use an exclamation mark. The exclamation mark can be used to show surprise, fear, happiness, etc. For example, fear, the dog is going to bite me. Anger, shut up. Surprise, how clever the girl is. What a beautiful flower it is. Happiness, it is good to see you again. Colon punctuation. A colon is made of two equal dots or periods. One dot sits on top of the other with a small space in between. How to use a colon? A colon is made of two equal dots or periods. One dot sits on top of the other with a small space in between. Examples: I like many healthy foods: carrots, cucumber, apples, spinach, and oranges. In writing, colon punctuation is used for one thing to introduce. Reena has only one thing on her mind: work. My mom always told me to follow the golden rule. Treat others as you want to be treated. I have lived in a few states: Karnataka, Himachal Pradesh, Maharashtra, and Gujarat. A colon is made of two equal dots or periods. One dot sits on top of the other with a small space in between. How to use a colon? A colon is made of two equal dots or periods. One dot sits on top of the other with a small space between. Examples: I like many healthy foods: carrots, cucumber, apples, spinach, and oranges. In writing, colon punctuation is used for one thing to introduce. Reena has only one thing on her mind: work. My mom always told me to follow the golden rule: treat others as you want to be treated. I have lived in a few states: Karnataka, Himachal Pradesh, Maharashtra, and Gujarat. Semicolon. The semicolon is a form of punctuation. In the English language, the semicolon looks like a full stop over a comma. Use a semicolon to connect, put together two related or similar sentences. We connect the sentences with a semicolon to eliminate the pause between them. Example without a semicolon: My shirt is green, my brother's shirt is blue. Example with a semicolon: My shirt is green, my brother's is blue. Example without a semicolon: I have my own bed, the cat sleeps on the pillow. Example with a semicolon: I have my own bed, the cat sleeps on the pillow. Use a semicolon to connect items in a list if there are already commas in the sentence. Use this when listing dates, locations, names, and descriptions. Example: My favorite teachers are Mrs. Pawar, my math teacher, Mrs. Patel, my reading teacher, and Mr. Kamble, my music teacher. Use a semicolon to connect items in a list if there are already commas in the sentence. Use this when listing dates, locations, names, and descriptions. Example: My favorite teachers are Mrs. Pawar, my math teacher, Mrs. Patel, my reading teacher, and Mr. Kamble, my music teacher. Single quotation marks. In the English language, we mainly use single quotation marks when a quotation or a title is placed inside of another quotation. Using single quotation marks, quotation within a quotation. Example: My father said, I like the autobiography, The Wings of Fire. Quotation within a headline. Examples: Protesters cried, no more high taxes. President says, don't worry America. Dash and the hyphen. A hyphen is used to join two or more words together into a compound term and is not separated by spaces. Example: part-time, back-to-back, well-known. A dash is used to separate words into statements. There are two common types of dashes, N dash and M dash. N dash, slightly wider than a hyphen. The N dash is a symbol that is used in writing or printing to indicate a range or connections and differentiations. Example: 1880 to 1945 or Princeton, New York trains. M dash, twice as long as the N dash. The M dash can be used in a place of a comma, parenthesis or colon to enhance readability or emphasize the conclusion of a sentence. For example, she gave him her answer, no. Ellipsis. An ellipsis, or plural ellipses, is a punctuation mark consisting of 3 dots. Use an ellipsis when omitting a word, phrase, line, paragraph, or more from a quoted passage. Ellipses save space or remove material that is less relevant. Example: after school I went to her house, which was a few blocks away, and then came home. After school I went to her house and then came home. Apostrophe. The apostrophe is a form of punctuation in the English language. It looks like a comma, but appears at the top of words instead of the bottom. We use the apostrophe to: first, indicate possession or ownership by a noun. Example: dog's house, Raju's book. Second, represent missing letters in a contraction. Use an apostrophe in place of the removed letters. Examples: cannot is can't, is not is isn't. Slash. Slash punctuation is a form of punctuation used when writing in the English language. First, use slashes to separate parts of internet web addresses and file names for some computer programs. Examples: http://www.reallylearnenglish.com/eslebooks.html, e/word files /articles/fish. Second, use slashes for fractions. Examples: 2/3 is 2/3, 1/2 is 1/2, 7/8 is 7/8. Use a slash to show the word or. Example: each child will take his/her science project home tonight. The fun they had. Isaac Asimov. The fun they had. Author Isaac Asimov, The Fun They Had, is a science fiction story by American writer Isaac Asimov. It first appeared in a children's newspaper in 1951 and was reprinted in the February 1954 issue of the Magazine on Fantasy and Science Fiction, as well as the collections Earth is Room Enough 1957, 50 Short Science Fiction Tales 1960, and The Best of Isaac Asimov 1973. The Fun They Had, Isaac Asimov. Written as a personal favor for a friend, The Fun They Had became more popular than he expected. It is about computerized homeschooling and what children miss out on by not being in school together. It is the most anthologized of all Asimov's stories and has appeared in many publications outside of the science fiction genre. The Fun They Had summary. Set in the year 2155, 2157 in some later versions, when children learn individually at home using a mechanical teacher, the story tells of 11-year-old Margie Jones, whose neighbor Tommy finds a real book. The book tells about a time when children learned by age group in large schools that were not merely designated rooms in private houses as in the year 2157. The fun they had. Summary. Margie and Tommy discuss what it must have been like to study together with a real person as a teacher, and thought at first Margie is skeptical about the notion. By the end of the story, she daydreams about what it must have been like and the fun they had. Watch the animated story here. https://www.youtube.com/watch V is equal to JUAJYU8NT0I. Meaning of the words. Loftily, airily in a superior tone. Example, my sister sets goals loftily in order to challenge herself. Betcha, surely bet you. Example, I'll betcha I can jump higher. Dispute, quarrel with. Example, talks to resolve the dispute were unsuccessful yesterday. Write words related to the following words. Book, check answers. Words related to the following words. Book, bookmark, binding, cover, reading, text, print, content, chapter, author, page. Write words related to the following words. School, check answers. Teacher, student, ground, blackboard, school bags, principal, books, chalk, homework, library. Write words related to the following words. Family, check answers. Home, mother, father, children, grandparents, love, care, relations, brother, sister. Advantages and disadvantages of human teacher. Advantages of human teacher. Disadvantages of human teacher. Advantages and disadvantages of human teacher. Advantages of human teacher. One can ask any questions to the human teacher. Human teachers can share experiences. Human teachers can feel our feelings. Human teacher has emotions. Disadvantages of human teacher. Human teacher can be partial. Human teacher may make mistakes. Human teacher has time limitations. Advantages and disadvantages of mechanical teacher. Advantages of mechanical teacher. Disadvantages of mechanical teacher. Advantages and disadvantages of mechanical teacher. Advantages of mechanical teacher. Students have freedom of where to study. Students have freedom of when to study. All students have direct communication with the teacher. Disadvantages of mechanical teacher. No face-to-face contact. Computer literacy is required by both students and teacher. Access to internet is required. Shopping online. Steps. First, register. Sign up and create your account. Second, choose. Browse and select the product of your choice from the given categories. Third, add to cart. Add your product to cart. Fourth, pay. Pay the total amount via online banking, debit card or pay cash on delivery. Fifth, take delivery. Check your product when it is delivered to you. Personal response question. Write advantages and disadvantages of online shopping. Advantages. Disadvantages.